Good morning, our presenters and participants. Welcome to the virtual Viet Seoul International Convention 2021. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to thank you so much for your participation and contribution to our convention success. We are Hale and Ms. Lam Phương as the presentation's moderators. We are delighted to see all of you in light of virtual presence today, especially in this parallel live oral presentation. We do hope that all of you will be able to have some valuable knowledge and experience as takeaways following the talk. Before the presentation, there are a few considerations. In case you have any questions or concerns about the presentation, please feel free to leave them in the chat box so that we can gather the questions for easy response in the 5 to 10 minute Q&A session. We gladly welcome Dr. Quynh and Mr. Lam Thi Trang and Ms. Lam Thi Trang in this 30-minute parallel live oral presentation, which is entitled Students' Perceptions of Implementing E-Learning in Language Study. About our presenters, Dr. Quynh has been teaching English for more than 15 years. He obtained an MA in English Language Teacher Development in 2005 and a PhD in Education in 2013, both from the University of Nottingham, UK. His research interests include learner autonomy, learning strategy, language assessment, and vocabulary learning. At present, he is a lecturer at RMIT University, Vietnam. Ms. Lam Thi Trang is currently an English lecturer of the English Language Teaching Department, Faculty of International Languages and Cultures at Hoa Sen University. She gained a master's degree in TESOL. She has been teaching English at the university level for more than 10 years. Her many interests include professional development, curriculum development, language teaching, and language assessment. Now, please welcome Dr. Quynh.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can we have the slides on, please? So good morning, colleagues. Thank you very much for joining our session today. Today we are going to talk about students' perceptions of implementing e-learning in language study. My name is Quynh. I'll be the presenter for the first part, where I'll talk about the background and the literature review on e-learning. And the second presenter is Ms. Lam Thi Trang, who will give a clear description of the study and discuss the results of the study and also the conclusions and implications. So first of all, I'd like to start with the background of the study. The study was done in the situation when coronavirus has become the fourth wave in Vietnam, and it has forced all institutions to move from face-to-face delivery mode to online learning. So we can see that that is a situation where institutions have to continue teaching and learning in a virtual environment. So in that situation, can you go to the next slide, please? E-learning is viewed as an open system of three entities, including students, instructors, and a learner management system. So those are the three elements that are needed to implement an e-learning system successfully. The management system will allow continuous interaction between students and instructor with their environment to optimize learning outcomes and student satisfaction. Next slide, please. So before we move on, let's have a look at the definitions of e-learning. There have been many definitions of e-learning. In STEAM 2008, e-learning was simply defined as a type of education where the medium of instruction is computer technology. So e-learning is considered learning with the aid of a computer. This definition is limited as the main instrument for use is through a PC. That's why we can use another definition offered by OECD, which is learning that is supported by information and communication technologies. So this definition is far more including, as it includes information and communication, which means it refers to databases and search engines that are offered on the internet, and also communication channels such as forum, social media. So those are the technologies that we can use nowadays for supporting learning. Definition that we use in our study is simply the use of internet technologies to deliver instruction. So that definition is a comprehensive and broad definition, as it covers everything that can be delivered through the internet. And if we talk about the instruments, and you can use a computer, a laptop, a mobile phone, and the instruction can be done through large databases, LMS system, social media, and also applications for communication. So that definition can be referred to as online learning, virtual learning, or online instruction. So it includes everything there. Next slide, please. So actually, e-learning is not a new phenomena in the history of education. Institutions have tried to implement e-learning for 20 years now. Back in 2002, if we look at the charts here, there were quite a few rationales for the implementation of e-learning. Including the promotion of on-campus learning, on-campus flexibility, keeping up with competition, to widening access and allowing facilitating distance learning, and attracting students from international markets. So e-learning have been a focus in tertiary education for a long time. In our current situation, institutions have been forced to move to e-learning to cope with the challenges that COVID-19 put in front of us in terms of in schools closed down, and distant online education. Next slide, please. So there are many types of e-learning. When we talk about e-learning, that is an umbrella term, but actually it refers to quite a few types of courses. E-learning can be used to refer to standalone courses where students can learn independently, completely online, and they can follow their own schedule and complete a course. E-learning can also be used to refer to virtual classroom courses where we have online delivery of content and the use of learning games and simulations to facilitate learning. In that case, there'll be more interaction between students and teachers, although the interaction is on through the online channels. Also, e-learning can be used in blended learning, And I think that will be a trend in the near future, where when we go back to face-to-face delivery, we'll need to blend some part of e-learning into our delivery, so that students and teachers can be familiar with e-learning, and then we can switch to completely online learning when we have to. And the final types of e-learning are mobile learning and knowledge management. Mobile learning refers to the medium that we can use to approach e-learning. So e-learning in the past has been limited to computer, as I discussed in the definition. Nowadays, we can learn everywhere, and then learning has been made more easily than ever before, thanks to mobile technology. And with the inclusion, with the promotion of blended learning, we need knowledge management system in the form of learning management, where students and learners, students and teachers can use as a common platform for knowledge sharing and knowledge gain and knowledge dissemination. Next slide, please. So now I'd like to present the conceptual framework of the current study. The current study was done based on the model of online learning offered by Anderson 2008, in which we have a knowledge and content interface. That is the knowledge management platform that I discussed in the previous slides. That interface allows for search and retrieval of information, and also allows teachers to organize tutorials, simulation, and games in the delivery of content and knowledge to the students. It also works as virtual labs and virtual library, where students can access knowledge through the ebooks and through other materials. So that interface helps communication and knowledge sharing between students and teacher, and also that allows collaboration among teachers, where they can share lesson plans and resources for teaching. So we can see that in the center of the model is the knowledge content interface, which is another name for the LMS system. And to have to build an LMS system is an important part of online learning delivery, as it works. It allows students to learn independently, through the access of material. It allows students to collaborate with other students and learn with a space set by themselves. Also, that kind of platform allows students and teachers to form community of inquiry, where they can work together to solve problems. And then the content interface allows interaction and communication among students, between students and teachers, and among teachers. And that communication can be done synchronously or asynchronously, meaning they can discuss in real time, or students can ask questions where teachers will answer later. Next slide, please. Next, I'll move to success factors in e-learning. So according to Angelique et al., there are several factors that decide the success of an e-learning system, especially the LMS system. The first one is that it has to successfully deliver or reach the learning objectives. It must be accessible. It must allow for easy access. It must contain consistent and accurate message, easy to use, entertaining, memorable, relevant, and also an ELS system should reduce training costs. That means it should be easy to use for both lecturers and students. Next slide, please. So the conceptual framework and definition are the theoretical foundation of our study that we are presenting today. The study seeks to answer the two questions listed here. The first one is, to what extent does the implementation of e-learning at university affect students' perception and their learning attitude? And the second question is, what are the challenges students face with e-learning? To answer those questions, the study used descriptive quantitative research design, where we use convenience sampling. So this study is done in the situation of COVID, where we have to cope with, a large workload of teaching and online material development and everything else. So the study was done in a simple manner with the participation of 99 students from Hoa Sen University. They joined the online courses through the learning system. So the LMS system at Hoa Sen University is named learning. Actually, it is an e-learning system, but it also supports mobile learning. The instruments we used to collect data consists of two parts. The first part contained 33 questions about the perceptions of students about learning. And the second part asked 13 questions asking students about the challenges they face with when attending e-learning classes. The questions are worded in 5-point Likert scale formats. So the data, the questionnaire were delivered in using online applications, and the main data analysis procedure that we use was descriptive statistics. Next, Ms. Lâm Thùy Trang will continue with the information about the study and present the findings of the study. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Quynh. Good morning, colleagues and participants. So now I'm going to continue my part by briefly introducing you to the e-learning platform that Hoa Sen University is running. As you know, during the time of COVID pandemic, all the classes in most of the schools in Vietnam have to switch from face-to-face to online courses, and Hoa Sen University is not an exception. The platform, the e-learning platform that Hoa Sen University is running is based on the Moodle platform. And thanks to the various functions of the platform, the teacher can add a lot of activities when creating an online course with lesson plan, assignment, feedback, quizzes, games, and they can also embed the link for video conference where teachers and students can meet together in the virtual classroom. So the questionnaire, the survey of this study was also implemented online. Firstly, we create and upload the items of the questionnaire via on the elearning platform, And then it was initially delivered to a small groups of students for the comprehension of the items in the list. And then it was mainly delivered to the main participant of students in different faculties of the university, from the first year students to the last year students. Then after data collection and data analysis, we can withdraw some results. Regarding students' perception of e-learning in the study, as we can see, their perception of the benefits of e-learning is at a high level, at the average mean of 3.7, in which students highly perceived the convenience of time, place, learning material. Whereas regarding collaborations and interactions among students or between students and teacher, their perception is just at a moderate level. In addition, in their perceptions in terms of enjoyment, self-efficacy, usefulness, and behavioral intention, their perception is still at a high level with the average mean of 3.72, in which they find it, they feel very confident, they enjoy using the e-learning system. They tend to use the e-learning to assist their learning later, and they found that it's very useful for them. That is a general perception of students regarding general e-learning. To be more specific, we would like to see how they perceive of the e-learning system at the university. Regarding the usability and reliability of the AIM learning platform at Hoa Sen University, their perception is high. Also, they have very positive perception. They find that it's very easy for them to operate a system. They become more and more skillful, and they can improve their learning performance, their learning process. They also find that the layout and the design of the AIM learning platform very friendly, and the function, the services of the AIM learning are highly appreciated, and the students feel satisfied with them. Though they have a lot of benefits regarding learning online, students still encounter a lot of difficulties or problems. Among them, there are cost, motivation, interactions, wireless signal. But staying at the top of the list is electricity. As we know, without electricity, we cannot run, we cannot do anything online, we cannot work, we cannot study online. The second most challenge is...
You have 5 more minutes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fu. The wireless signal and the technical problem is still need to be considered. Then when there are both benefits and challenges with online study, when students come up with the use of e-learning in the future, more than half of them prefer kind of combination, or we say blended learning, both online and face-to-face. Only 15% prefer fully online, and more than a quarter of them love to study fully face-to-face. Then, to make e-learning become more beneficial, more convenient, and less challenging, these things should be considered very carefully, such as motivation, learning support, social interaction, To be more specific, we need to foster students' interest in e-learning by designing more and more interactive activities, and the teaching methodology should be various as well. Moreover, because we cannot see students face-to-face, we cannot observe what they are doing, how they are doing. So we need to encourage them to have their own responsibility to learning. In addition, in terms of teaching and activities, the teacher needs to make the online learning more motivating by different learning activities like learning games, with simulation, with interactive activities, though those we cannot see face-to-face, but then via some other kind of platform. And then we make students enjoy their study, enjoy the activities that they are using, they are participating. And also, when we do that, we can create more opportunities for synchronous communication. Students can interact with their peers, with the teacher, and then they can feel the class very joyful. And that's all for our presentation. Thank you for your attention, and we do hope that you enjoy the section. Thank you.
Thank you. We'd like to share for your great presentation. Now, receive any questions that you may have for our.
How I can't hear from you.
Maybe because of the video, it doesn't work.
Okay.
So I just have the audio. So we have one question from Manny Vang. Here, tools or apps do you use for e-learning in your university?
The platform, or we can say, actually it's not a kind of app, it's just the platform we are using at Hoa Sen University is called elearning platform. And this platform is based on the Moodle platform.
Thank you. So we are waiting for other questions from the audience, from the participants, if you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Ma.
Please type into the chat box if you have any other questions.
Yeah, so that's from Hoa Sen University. I'd like to share what we are using at RMIT. At RMIT, we use Canvas as the LMS system. Canvas, I think, is similar to Blackboard or WebCT, if you know. And for delivery, we use Microsoft Teams most of the time.
Dr. Quynh, can you share your screen?
Screen of the presentation or screen of what?
You just want to mention, you just briefly introduce the Canvas from your university.
Yeah. Okay, just the name, you know.
Okay, I see.
Okay, I can see one more question here. Do you face difficulty in teaching? We just have just 1 or 2 minutes to finish this.
You mean online teaching difficulties with teaching?
Yeah. Do you face difficulty in teaching? I mean, I read the question from the audience here.
Okay. Actually, definitely yes. I think in most of the cases, because it's not a kind of like face-to-face usual classes in like the campsite classroom, but now everything just carry out in a virtual environment. In that environment, sometimes we can see our students when they turn on the webcam, when they want to interact with you, when they want to see you, but then sometimes they just turn off their webcam and then at that time, the teacher, you don't know what your students are doing. You just keep reminding, please turn on your webcam. And then whenever you call the name to raise their voice in answering some questions, but then we need to see our students, because so far we can see that a lot of news on the newspaper or somewhere about the problem with online study. So then that is just the interaction. And for creating or designing the activities is quite harsh, it's quite challenging as well. You need to spend more time, make it like eye-catching, make it like enjoyable, because like students just sit all the time in front of the screen, listen to their teacher without doing nothing. They feel very bored just after a short period of time, not classes by classes. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Lê Xuân Quynh, and thank you, Ms. Lâm Thị Trang. Due to the limited time, we cannot include all of the questions in the Q&A session, so you can email the presenters directly. On behalf of VIC 2021, we wish you all the best with the productive day and meaningful rest of our virtual convention. Thank you and goodbye.
Yeah, so thank you very much.